Okay, the recording has started.
Okay.
So, let's just get into this. Are you streaming, Azid? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Mine.
Streaming? Still off.
Yeah.
Still off for me. I got the refresh.
Yeah, I mean.
Actually, I'm streaming on Twitch.
You are? It doesn't say it is for me.
Okay.
Let's see.
Mitch had to refresh. He's back on live. And no, he's not.
Okay, hold on.
I'm getting blue screen, so yeah, I'm well refreshed.
Technical
I'm here.
Buddy?
Oh, for
If we lose Pack.
you're
What?
fired. You're
No.
fired again.
Oh, I thought you said you'll be right back.
Wait, back
Okay,
to live.
yeah.
Dewey Danims.
Dewey Denim.
Okay.
Dewey Danims.
Yazid, I thought I told you if Brad stopped this whole I quit shenanigans, we would sign Dewey Danim.
Dude, I'm just playing as in nothing more, nothing less. It's not a real relationship. We're not that.
I'm pretty sure you're thinking about signing him.
Speak for yourself, Yazid. It's a real relationship to me. It's real to me, damn it.
Oh, good God.
I mean, Maggle thought we were all family once.
Oh God.
Wait, we're not?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Florida, man.
I figured.
Florida man.
I figured.
It's
we're
like you told
family.
One of these things is not like the others. One of these things is Florida.
Man, it's like you told little kids Santa Claus does not exist. Holy shit.
No matter what JJ says, we are all a family.
And Santa
I
Claus.
don't see no adoption papers.
Oh.
We've known each other for a while. We speak to each other every day.
Does that really
more-
count as family though?
Yes, it's more than
Yeah.
a lot of families.
Actually is.
It
It's
is.
I don't know if that's how that works.
It's our Discord friend.
Family is what you make it, buddy.
Exactly.
Doesn't
There you
mean
go.
it has to be blood related or whatever.
This is the most diverse international.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Australia, Florida, and the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
We don't have Australia. Who's Australian?
Buddy Murphy, what are you
Who's
talking
Australian?
Oh, I'm talking about Discord.
about? Oh,
Yeah, I was talking about this.
You
No.
said match.
yeah, it sounded like you said international match.
Matchup.
I
Yeah.
said international Discord family.
Oh, okay, fine.
We're not
Oh, yeah.
international at all.
Well, I am.
Technically, Blake and Yazid are technically from
Out of-
other countries. So
Out of
Until-
like 40 people
until-
that's in this channel.
And so,
1%.
yeah, okay. We are the one. I'm the top 1%.
What?
Yeah.
Top
You got. What are you talking about?
1%.
Oh God.
Who's the top 1%?
Is it?
Is indeed.
Yeah.
See-
Yeah, Z3.
Yeah. Don't you know?
man, this game takes forever to load.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All this Dewey Denim and Buddy Murphy, Florida man,
The Royal Rumble.
2001.
Who won 2001?
Austin.
Austin.
Oh yeah, Austin won 3. Shit.
That was his like third one. Yeah.
Isn't that the one where he came up with Austin 316 says, "I just whooped your
No.
ass."
No,
no,
that was,
no.
King
That
of the
was
Ring
was-
96.
King of the Ring.
That wasn't even-
That was Survivor Series.
Oh, King of
No.
the
That was
Ring.
King of
That
the
was
Ring
King of
96.
That was King of the Ring. King of the Ring.
I
Yeah.
don't
See-
know
see,
He
why.
didn't do that in any,
I don't
in
know
any
why.
of the.
Yeah.
Oh, it is actually Royal Rumble 2001.
No, wait. Was it?
King of the Ring 1997 was Austin versus Shawn.
All right.
And that
See
led
that?
to a draw.
Okay. Let's start with Michael. How did you discover?
Discover what?
Wrestling?
Yeah. How did this?
So I was thinking about this a while ago. My sister, well, let me take it back. It's always been on in the house. One of my relatives would come over and watch wrestling, and I would flip TV, and it was something to watch. But I never really paid attention to it or understood what the heck was what was going on until
Why is that guy flipping that guy?
right until about '98 when my sister made me watch. No, it was like '97. It was right before Undertaker and Mick Foley's Hell in a Cell match. She made me watch a couple of the episodes running up to that, and then she made me watch the pay-per-view, and that's when I really started getting into it and understanding and following it to the point where I could say what I was, you know, what I knew what I was talking about. But I didn't actually understand what people meant by it was fake until like years later. Like,
You did not understand the concept of
yeah, I
cage
didn't understand how, like, because I could clearly see they were hitting each other and the moves were real. I didn't know what they meant.
Including the chair shots. Ow.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't know what they meant was fake. Like, what is fake? Because as a kid, I thought the promos were like the most realist thing ever. I didn't. I never realized. Oh, they're telling them to say these things until like much later. So yeah, that's how I got into it. I stopped watching for about 10 years, around 2006 to about 2000, 15, 14, 15, around then.
And you regretted the decision ever since.
No, I'm glad I started watching it again.
Yeah.
Because I had followed it casually throughout those years, but never really paid attention to who's who, or like I was familiar with the Team Hell No situation, but I didn't know anything about the anger management segments. I heard the big events, like I was aware when Eddie Guerrero died, devastated when that happened. Was freaked out when the whole Benoit thing happened, because I remembered those guys. So,
Man, what are you doing?
so yeah, that's my wrestling background. And I started back up watching, casually watching Raw. I didn't watch the pay-per-views or anything. I would watch Raw and parts of SmackDown until someone in Giant Bomb chat, one of the moderators, said, "Oh, you should be watching NXT. NXT is great stuff." And he also said, and if you can find New Japan, start watching that. And because I had never seen an entire Japanese wrestling match prior to that point. I had only grew up with WWE and WCW, so I had no idea what that was about.
Were you one of those back in the Monday Night War? Were you one of those people who put two TVs on side by side?
No, our school was divided into WWE fans and WCW fans. So if you were a WWE fan, you did not watch WCW, and you looked down upon people who watched.
Oh my God!
And then if somebody started watching the other one, it was a food fight in school.
Yeah, it was like
that kid got hit with the full milk cart.
No, it was more like, oh, you're watching. Because it was all about who you hung out with, so you could have something to talk to. So if the people you were hanging out with wasn't watching WWE, then you didn't have anything to talk about. So it was more about social situations and stuff like that, and of course the status symbols of who had the T-shirts, who went to which pay-per-view when it went to town and stuff like that. So so we were divided. So I was a WWE guy, and our little circle didn't appreciate the WCW guys, especially when David Arquette happened, because it affected the entire industry. It made casual people who were only sort of paying attention. It made it seem like everyone who watched wrestling, even if it wasn't WCW, it made you look like you were some idiot who would fall for an actor winning, because the whole thing was, oh well, now we know it's fake because an actor won a major belt. So even if you were,
basically that.
yeah. So even if
so
you weren't
basically,
watching WCW, you were upset about the
So-
David Arquette situation because
in other words, even if the Cotton Cole incident did not kill, the fact that David Arquette winning the title executed the kayfabe in a way.
right, like that was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of some people, in terms of suspension of disbelief. Like
Mhm.
they could take it up to a certain point, but then David Arquette won the title. It has to be scripted at some point, and not even that they were disparaging the fact that it was scripted, but because that they even let an actor win the title, it just looks like, you know, they're doing stuff just for the attention, and they're not even taking their own business seriously. Oh, they'll just give the belt to a champ, even if they, they weren't even paying attention to the facts. The facts that David Arquette didn't really want the championship. They didn't actually watch how it was run. David, with the whole DDP angle, they didn't care about any of that. All they saw was the perception of an actor won a major wrestling belt. It's gotta be. That's the cherry on top of the fake shit sandwich. I'm mixing my metaphors here, but but it was like that thing that was like, oh, you watch wrestling, David Arquette just won the title. It's might as well be watching Jerry Springer at that point. So yeah, we were, even though I didn't watch WCW, I was pissed about the David Arquette thing. So
And still out to this day.
yeah.
And now he's coming back.
My knee-jerk reaction, I was against him coming back. But thinking about it and understanding the situation now in retrospect,
It's a whole
fine.
different crowd. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's fine. You can understand how it happened, and understand the situations around it. It's not entirely too offensive if you actually pay attention and know what happened.
Right.
It's not
The community.
right.
The community has changed. Yeah. For me, back.
Well, it's not so much the community has changed as so much as the perception of the business has changed, to where people can now go back and look at that silly stuff and understand the context around it, rather than at the time. Twitter didn't exist. All the dirt sheets were, hard to find for a lot of people. So a lot of people weren't aware of where the kayfabe line ended. And so the crowd was less informed about the industry itself. So the perception of the industry was affected.
See, that's a big problem with the Attitude Era as a whole, though. It's like, they blurred the lines so much you can't really tell.
Right.
But when it came to WCW, they were so blatant with it, like, especially when Vince took over.
Yeah.
With stuff like Goldberg walking out in mid-match, because it was like all, oh, he's shooting, brother.
He became obsessed with like the work shoot. It really fucked everybody up.
Viagra on a pole match.
And it made everything look more fake,
The San Francisco 49ers match.
I mean, that match could have worked.
Yeah. What about you, Pac? How'd you did in the wrestling?
Oh, my dad watches it a lot. The first show I watched was No Way Out 2003. I've been watching wrestling consistently ever since.
Okay, so your dad was a fan, so were you aware of kayfabe and all that?
I wasn't aware of kayfabe till like 2010. Because I didn't grow up watching like Attitude Era, so I didn't watch the Russo thing. I didn't know who Russo was until I got into like YouTube and all that.
You were blessed.
Yeah.
You were lucky.
The way I found out was I got internet and I looked up little dirt sheets. I was like, oh, it's kind of predetermined.
Right.
Oh look, John Cena just ruined another person's career again.
the first thing I found out was like legitimate, like people get actually injured and people like, oh, we haven't seen this guy in a long time. I was like, oh, that's because he got released from WWE. Oh, I thought he was just injured.
Oh
No,
wait, he's in TNA now.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
the stuff.
noticed that.
That's
I
the
watched
stuff.
TNA too.
That's the stuff that threw me and confused me. It was like, well, that guy is injured. How is it fake? Oh, that guy is, of course he'd be
Like
upset. He's
like the
injured.
Orin punting things.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, he's got a massive concussion now. Where'd he
Yeah.
go?
He no longer has a head.
Right.
Yeah.
JJ, how about you?
Okay, how I started. 2002. My
Nice.
brother's been watching for like about a good decade before, but
Mhm.
I always said when I was a kid I never wanted to get like watch wrestling because I think subconsciously I didn't want to because I didn't want to like anything my brother did, like ICP and shit that he used to like. I'm guessing because just the way how our family is, my brother would always be treated kind of bad by my parents compared to me. And it's like, I guess subconsciously, I don't want to be like him and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
2002, I saw the WrestleMania 8 DVD. I watched it. I can remember two things specifically about it. Rob Van Dam versus William Regal for the Intercontinental title, and The Rock's promo on Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
You
With the coach.
Hmm.
It
Oh.
was funny as hell.
We should.
Rock was real funny in 2002.
Yeah. I should
Yeah, he
try
really-
and find that clip while we're talking and play it in the recording.
Real funny clip.
Oh yeah.
I've never stopped watching wrestling from 2002 to now. I've watched WWE almost ever since. I've gotten into Ring of Honor as of like around last year. New Japan not too long ago. I watched WrestleMania 9.
Hmm.
Start out and I just follow him. Lucha Underground I'm following a bit. TNA I've been off and on with because first thing I saw of TNA was a TV taping in 2009. I had the choice between going to Raw that was coming to Florida, which was ended up being hosted by Seth Green,
Hmm.
and a TNA
yeah.
Impact TV taping that was happening.
Did you ever attend a TNA taping?
I've attended a lot of them.
Oh yeah.
I've been to like maybe 4 or 5 TV tapings. I went to a couple pay-per-view. I went to pay-per-views.
It's
I
cool.
was at the January 4th, 2010 Live Impact.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah.
wow.
You can probably hear me marking out like a fucking schoolgirl when Hamada and Awesome Kong win the Knockouts tag belts.
Wow.
And they were doing like this fan contest thing where like, oh, if you shout the loudest and stuff, you go backstage. And I'm like, wait, how did I not win this? This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Is it the Hogan Rock segment before No Way Out in 2003?
No, it was Hogan. It was The Rock and Coach at WrestleMania. It was like after DDP Christian.
Oh, the Rocky
Oh.
coach.
At
Right.
18.
Yeah, it was at 18. It was on the DVD. Yeah, I was like, with how I've been on and off with TNA. Like, I started 2009, but watched consistently through 2010. Then Bound for Glory happened.
Why was that Bound for Glory? Was it the They segment?
The they thing, yeah.
Oh.
They revealed the whole
They're
conspiracy.
They're here.
The conspiracy between Hogan, Bischoff, and all them. And then
Which-
that Impact happened.
And then it sucked.
That Impact where it was like 5 minutes of wrestling on a 2-hour show. I'm like, no, this is going. I can't watch this anymore.
Turned into a TV show.
If it's gonna be this for the rest of the time, no. But I still attended some TNA pay-per-views with my brother and his friend. I went to Destination X 2011, Slammiversary 9, I believe.
All right,
Whatever the Slammiversary was, that ended up being at Universal that year.
I'm gonna play.
And Anderson won the belt, I believe.
I'm gonna have Fuckbot play the video so it can play the audio through Discord and it can be picked up and all that. So you guys.
Okay.
Okay then.
Uh,
For those that don't know, Fuckbot is a music bot that we named Fuckbot in Discord.
I did not name it,
It's just Blake.
but yeah.
I think his real name is Danobot.
Daniel.
It's Fred Boat.
Oh, Fred Boat. Okay, that's the other bot I was thinking of. Fred Boat.
Oh, there we go.
Michael, this isn't it.
Oh, that's not it.
Is that it?
At WrestleMania, it was at WrestleMania 18.
Oh, not SmackDown. It was at WrestleMania.
Oh,
It was at WrestleMania. It was on it again.
Cut the fit.
First thing I saw was the DVD.
Oh,
that's
The whole promo was basically, Rock talking about, how he's gonna face Hulkamania. He asks Coach if he says his prayers and stuff. He makes Coach say a prayer on live television, and then just gets upset with him because he said, "What up, G?"
you sick
God,
freak!
you sick freak! It was glorious. I loved it.
Wow.
Just the Rock's facial expression where he goes, "What in the blue hell?" was priceless to 10 years old.
Oh yeah. I'm busy.
Probably on Daily Motion, honestly. That's what I'm.
Okay.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But yeah, it was.
You can find it. You can find it on the WWE.
On the WWE Network.
Yeah, I just try to follow as much wrestling as I can, honestly. Like, I like a lot of wrestling companies on social media, like Lucha Underground, Kara, all that good stuff. And
See, I follow WWE TNA recently, like last year when it started to get better.
when I started getting good again.
Then the
Basically, I
Callis
was
era,
interested.
it got really good. He was just Dixie Carter's nephew. Ah.
There we go. Yeah. Cool.
I think I started watching TNA first off, like in 2006. I try to keep up with it until like the Global Force thing started to happen. Then I kind of just tuned out for a couple years.
I picked TNA back up again a little bit when it comes to recently. Around when they started doing all the name changes, like the Broken Hardy stuff, and all the name changes. And
The only
there was a lot of stuff I liked about it when it got to where it was now, like the Broken Hardys. I liked Jade. What I hated was the storyline between Braxton Sutter and Allie. Laurel Van Ness. That entire storyline was fucking stupid. Because Allie's gimmick was basically Maria in WWE. Fucking stupid. Literally stupid.
An airhead. Literally.
Yeah, the only TNA episode that I've ever was the one where they revealed Mike Knox as one of the aces.
Oh,
Knox.
Aces and Eights, yeah.
Yeah, aces.
That was something that had potential and then just floundered.
Yeah, I was like.
And then they made the leader Bully Ray, which made no sense.
And for some reason, Bully Ray wants to marry
Brooke Hogan.
Brooke Hogan.
No, he married Brooke Hogan, then revealed he was leader of Aces and Eights the whole time.
Yeah.
Which makes everything pointless.
Yeah.
It's like Vince Russo was writing it. Oh wait, he was a creative consultant in secret.
They made him a secret because they know backlash would happen.
Yeah, Spike would have just fired TNA, the entire company
And they did.
channel.
And they did.
And they did.
I started to watch wrestling when I was a fetus.
I
What?
don't think that's how that
That's
works.
I-
Paige.
no.
That's
Okay, hold on a
impressive.
second.
I'm kidding.
That's not how that works,
Yeah,
Paige.
that's how long. That's how long I've been watching.
So basically, your
Since you were
parents.
born.
So basically, your
Yeah,
parents
for
were big
my-
fans of wrestling. Okay,
Yeah, my parents. Well, my dad loves wrestling.
that's nice.
Mm,
That's-
mm.
My mom's not a big fan of it, but that's because my uncle would like always watch it, and she just doesn't really care about it.
That sounds like my
Um,
dad now.
Okay. Guess I should just keep talking. Alright, got straight.
Yeah, keep beating
First
me up.
pay-per-view
Anyway,
that I can remember watching is the first WWE pay-per-view I can remember watching was like WrestleMania 20.
20. Oh. That's good.
Yeah, that was the one where like it had Guerrero versus Angle, Benoit in the main event, that triple threat.
That was
And
the one where
that's
Goldberg
ac-
versus Lesnar happened, and nothing else.
And Shawn Michaels,
Remember
Triple
that
H, and
match?
Chris Stevie Richards.
Stevie Richards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Pegasus Kid.
What the? Oh
Yeah,
God.
that's actually what made me a big Benoit fan for like the time he was alive.
Yeah.
Just
And then
watching
3
him
years later, he
win
kills
the
his.
belt. Yeah.
Like,
Then the
Okay.
double murder suicide happened. Just like, oh,
Like, oh, okay.
oh man.
Yeah,
I can't like this guy
cried
anymore.
I cried for like 2 weeks. 'Cause that was
Oh.
like one of my
Because he was a
heroes.
hero.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. Him, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and John Cena were like my favorites growing up, and Rikishi.
Oh,
oh,
of course, Rikishi.
okay. Quick question: when did Rikishi stop wrestling for WWE? Like when?
When? What do you mean?
Like when did he not retire? Basically, going on a hiatus. Like before he got inducted. When was the last?
What was the question?
So his
What was the question?
initial run was before he went to TNA.
Yeah,
Oh, he probably 2004.
Rikishi went to TNA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
Rikishi
junior
was-
fat too.
And did nothing.
Okay.
He was-
Okay.
He got fired because he got really fat. He had a weight problem.
And also, he didn't give a shit in his entire freaking run.
Also, would like to apologize,
What's his name?
Bobby Roode. Bubba. Bubba. Bubba Roode. Also, if anyone is listening, like to apologize. English is not.
Yeah, you keep cutting out.
You cut it out. What did you say?
Oh no! Really? How am I cutting out right now? Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
What?
Good?
There we go. All right.
What are you doing in my house?
I'm not in your house. What are you talking-
Get out of my house.
No. No. Make me. Okay.
All right. Where's
Put 'em.
the samurai sword?
Anyway, as I was saying, I'm sorry for my heavy accent.
You have to
English-
apologize.
I'm sorry, I'm me.
I'm sorry, I'm foreign.
I'm sorry, I'm foreign.
You don't need to
Yeah.
apologize for you being foreign, you dude.
Thank
I'll
you.
say your accent's not that
If
heavy.
you do
No.
that,
it's
they
not.
win.
I'm not heavy, but I'm gonna get the title.
Yeah, never
He's not heavy.
apologize for
He-
being.
He's not
This-
heavy, but he's a giant Q.
The Declaration of Independence. All of our forefathers are freaking either immigrants or descendant of immigrants. So you should never have to apologize for being foreign.
I don't know. What about your five fathers?
Five fathers.
Five fathers.
I don't get the joke. I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
Four fathers, five fathers.
I hate.
Let's see.
You know, it's really weird. I bought this microphone like last week. It should have been like
Last week, and everything was fine. Then the Fire Nation attacked.
exactly.
I want to say that's just more of an internet issue.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Or
that's a Wi-Fi thing.
AK, that's a you problem, dude.
Mm.
I was gonna say to answer Michael's question myself. I started watching wrestling around
Oh, come on, I didn't even
2006,
finish.
2007.
Mm.
2006, 07.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wild Raccoon has entered
What
the
was
recording
your-
studio to answer Michael's question.
What was your first, like, your first pay-per-view?
Memory.
What were you
Or
watching?
people.
Yeah. What was your first
My
memory of
fir-
wrestling?
My first memory of wrestling, like, if it involves just television wise, it's WrestleMania 23.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Oh.
That's a good start. Like I thought that was a good one anyway. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
WrestleMania
might have-
23 was good.
I
I
might have watched
had
like
that on my Xbox. The original
might have
Xbox
watched-
for some reason.
I might have watched like a few Raws before that, but I don't really remember anything from them.
Mm.
But like
Hmm.
my first memory of wrestling in general, if it doesn't involve television or movies, is playing WrestleMania 19, the video game.
Yeah, you know,
Oh, I played that too.
if I had to say my first exposure to wrestling was probably like a sitcom where Vader guest starred, because I was
Oh.
aware of Vader as
It was
some
probably
weird-
Boy Meets World.
He did a lot, but I don't know. Maybe it could.
Because he was on Boy Meets World 3 times.
Yeah, it could have been, depending on what year Boy Meets World was on at the time. Yeah, it's totally possible.
It was like mid-90s, literally the
Yeah.
mid-90s.
Yeah. So,
1993 to 2000.
oh, it's Boy Meets
Oh,
World
ran
was
into straight
93.
into 2000.
Then
Yeah.
yeah, it's entirely possible. That's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like just seeing wrestlers and not knowing what the heck is why is he dressed like that, you know, and like
Why is he wearing women's underwear on his head?
people
What?
people like Vader who did
Rest in
similar
peace, Vader.
cameos on sitcoms, not just Vader, but that's how
Uh,
I was
I-
first aware.
I played a wrestling video game. My uncle noticed like I was playing it, and he was like a wrestling fan when he was a kid. So he like gave me like some WWE slippers for Christmas, and it was just I've been a wrestling fan ever since.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
Here,
Mm.
have this Stone Cold Steve Austin baby doll.
You're hurting my elbow. That's WCW. I
Ah,
think.
my neck.
Oh yeah, that was one of those tough talkers. Maybe the WWE kind of has those now.
Yeah, they still do.
They would totally do that.
Yeah, they still.
I mean, they do have those. I forgot what they're called, but they do
I
have
think
these
they're still
talking
talking.
heads.
Oh, yeah,
Aren't
I know what
they
you're talking
called
about.
Tough Talking?
No,
Tough
they're not.
Talker?
That was the WCW ones.
Oh, I could have sworn they call him Tough Talking now, because there was a Seth Rollins one recently.
Let's see.
WWE.
They're tough talkers.
Yeah,
Apparently.
They actually are? Okay.
yeah. they're
What the
Tough
fuck?
Talkers.
What the fuck? What the WCW one's called?
They well, they own WCW, dude. They probably renamed it after the WCW one.
Tough talking.
Tough Talking.
So
T-O-F-T-A-L-K-I-N.
slightly different.
The WWE versions are called Brawlin' Buddies.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
we're not talking about
That's
the
a-
stuffed animals. We're talking about the actual action.
Yeah, the action figures that talk.
The talk and recognize
to
people
go
and
in the
recognize
ring.
the people they're facing.
Yeah, the one.
Brawl
that go in the
Buddies
ring.
was what I was thinking of before.
The
Wrong
foam-
buddies, the talking stuffed animals.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah.
foam, the stuffed ones.
Not the actual like action figures.
Which are good too, because some of those talked too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
The
The
current
soft
day
ones.
ones did,
Yeah.
not the old '80s ones.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like that was probably my first exposure to that. So what?
That's big.
Rabbit. When did you first
Yeah.
be aware of kayfabe and like starting getting into the deep, details of wrestling and understanding?
I'd say I'd say sometime like after 2011 maybe.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
it was fairly soon after you started watching.
After the Cena Reign of Terror.
Reign of Terror 2.0.
So it wasn't too
It
soon
was,
after
really.
you started watching where you caught on.
Honestly, I can't remember the first time I noticed like kayfabe. Like,
Yeah. And yeah, for you, it's a different era. At that time, people are, more in tune with the business. That so for you, you might have always been aware of kayfabe. You know,
Yeah.
it was a lot. It's a lot easier to maintain back in my day.
So I can tell you the difference between the WWE tough talkers and the WWE ones. The difference is like they're spelled differently. With WWE it's TOUGH.
Yeah, it's like I said,
And
WWE spells it properly. WCW thinks they're cool.
Tough.
Like
Tough
tough
enough.
enough.
Tough.
Dan, did you ever say when you first started getting into kayfabe and understanding
Nah.
about the business?
That was probably. I don't know. I knew it was like scripted when I was 7, but I didn't like know about all the kayfabe and all the scripted and all
Right.
the
The
promos.
nuance.
I thought everybody just like changed their name because that's the only thing I knew when I was.
Oh.
But when the scripts and like knowing that wasn't really all full contact was probably when I was 10, I want to say. So I knew it was like not real from early.
You have an
stages.
example of something that you saw and can go, oh, this is predetermined, as they like to say now, or oh, that was fake.
I started noticing when like every so in the mid 2000s, I noticed that the winning team was always in like either the bottom corner or the top corner.
Oh, really?
And that's when I realized, yeah, that's who's gonna win the match. Yeah,
That's a weird way to figure that out.
I think
That's
I
a
can.
detail.
They always did that.
I think I can say when I figured out wrestling was like when I found out the kayfabe stuff. I think it's when I first watched the wrestling documentary DVD, like, and I didn't know like what entailed. Like, I'm like, oh, these are actually the real people that are in the characters actually talking
Oh yeah.
out of character.
Oh, so you just straight up got someone
A
who
documentary.
kayfabe for you. That's
Pretty
cool.
much.
But I understand where Dan is saying, like, that's how I started getting a hint, is that weird stuff like noticing, oh well, this person always loses, or oh, they always seem to go to this corner and do this particular thing, even if it's a completely different match and everything. They still do the same thing. So I started catching on with
Like
weird
they
little
also,
things.
like you mean they always go a specific rhythm, a specific set of moves every time they go.
Right, like started noticing the patterns first, and which can only
Yeah,
be,
pattern. Yeah.
right, which can only be, a result of it being somewhat choreographed or somewhat
Or-
scripted.
Yeah.
So I sort of started catching on to that point, but I still didn't know the extent of it, and I didn't know like I didn't understand how, and I'm still not entirely clear, other than it's what Vince wants, but like on the indies and stuff, I'm still not entirely clear on how they determine the winner. Like, who decides who's gonna go over, other than who's more over at the moment? Like,
More Roman Reigns.
yeah, like, well, especially on the
Smart.
indies. On the indies is more where I'm going for. But with WWE, it's easier to say, oh, it's Vince and the writers because they want X, Y, and Z. But when it's indies and it's just a spontaneous show, there's no real story going into it. Like, it's interesting to figure out who takes the pin.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Right. I bet
Literally throwing darts at a dartboard.
It's actually a crapshoot at that point. Then
yeah, exactly.
no story involved, and there's like tying anything together.
Right. Yeah.
Then
Or
who
as
knows?
Brie Bella did with her like daughter Birdie recently. Like she like let her go and like she grabbed pictures of different wrestlers.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like she said like it's Birdie saying who Daniel Bryan's gonna face next, and Birdie actually grabbed a picture of AJ Styles.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so basically, you're saying indie promotions pick winners like people predict winners for the Super Bowl.
Pretty much.
Pretty
Weird.
much, man.
Various ways.
What, the Super Bowl is fixed?
No, not the Super. I didn't say that, Izzy. I said people predict Super Bowls. In
No,
weird
the
ways,
NBA Finals is fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's ask this
Get it right.
monkey who he thinks is gonna win the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is fixed. Well, yeah, if it involves the New England Patriots.
Ooh.
Hey!
Step last year.
Okay. If anyone's listening to this and
If they're a Patriots fan, you can fuck off.
oh, no! Well,
Okay, see you guys later.
Yeah,
I know what I'm not wanting.
yeah, you cheater.
Oh.
Hey,
They have nothing.
what do you now?
Sorry, Strip,
All I
to
hear,
deflate
all
your
I
ego.
hear is the musings of a loser.
Oh God.
Speaking of
Uh,
losers, how are the Cavaliers gonna do next season, Michael?
The last 4
I don't
years
want
have been
Westbrook.
pretty good, so
He
it's
left
gonna be
for Los Angeles.
it's gonna be interesting to see.
It's gonna be interesting knowing how to lose again.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
God.
It is. It's
Okay.
yes. Better way to say it. It's gonna be nice to lose again. And to be honest, this is better for the league. It's gonna be real weird because now it's just gonna be a Western. The real finals is going to be the Western Conference finals because whoever comes out of the East is just going to be so out unless something drastic happens in the Eastern Conference.
It's probably not gonna be the Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 7th year in a row.
Exactly. It's not going to be Cavs Warriors 5, which I'm okay with. Like it was getting kind of stressful.
Ridiculous.
Having to knowing that your team is the team that when it gets to the finals, it becomes East versus West. Like people in other states start rooting for the Eastern Conference Championship. So it's whoever
To be
won
fair.
the East is the king of the East. So it kind of got stressful for Cavs fans to represent the entire Eastern Conference Finals or Eastern Conference and have all of the success hinge on LeBron James and whether or not the team is helping sufficiently. It's
LeBron James.
for a while it was a good
LeBron.
spectacle to have, but I'm okay with moving on. So
You
it's
won
gonna
one title, though.
yeah.
I'm sick of
And
winning.
we won a title. We won 4 Eastern Conference titles and 1 NBA championship. That's pretty cool.
You broke the curse of Cleveland.
Exactly. We broke the curse.
wanted him
The
forever.
tribe, the Indians started doing better when the Cavs started doing better. So
Yeah,
it
this
gave us
same
it gave us
year.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
unfortunately, the
Year.
Browns will always suck.
What was exactly the curse?
Well, it's just well, if you want to know the folklore about it, some old guy took a goat
What?
an old guy. This was back in the 20s when the Browns were like the big stuff, so some guy took
Okay.
a goat to the game, and they wouldn't let him in. They wouldn't let him in with the goat. So instead of going home and it being okay, he went outside and did a sacrificial ritual
Oh,
and sacrificed the goat in front of the stadium. And ever since, the Browns have never won a championship. So,
that is
The Browns, I don't think the Browns have won a game in like 4 years.
right, and it started affecting the other sports teams to a point where the Indians would get to the playoffs and get to they would be one score away from winning the World Series, and something stupid would happen, and this happened like multiple times with the Indians, and then with
Y'all
the
just-
Cavaliers, they
Y'all
got
just choked harder than a fucking hot dog eating contest competitor.
yeah, and then the Cavs got the name. I think it was the Cardiac Kids. Well, one of the teams got the name Cardiac Kids, and the Cavs were notorious for going into the third quarter and being so good and being like, oh, we're gonna win this game, and then fourth quarter we don't score a point at all. we lose by 20 points.
Eat shit.
Yeah. So like people attributed this slump to that sacrifice, the curse, the Cleveland curse. So and it was real. It was real for a while. To a lot of people, it was real. So when LeBron came back and won that first one, it was a huge, like, emotional relief off the city that, okay, we're not cursed. Even if we weren't cursed really at the beginning, we're certainly not cursed now. Even if they didn't believe in the curse, they were relieved that we won, so that stigma of the curse was just over. You know,
Or maybe the curse
the
finally
war-
lifted.
yeah.
The warrior named LeBron James.
Right. And so, like, even if people didn't actually believe the curse, the stigma of the curse held so much emotional baggage for people and Cleveland fans that it became a real curse. It became real at some point. So,
Cool.
winning
Not cool.
was a big deal.
Yeah.
So, especially for Cleveland and stuff, it was a big deal. That's why it was the most celebrated NBA championship in history. Like, no other team was more celebrated in winning than the Cavs winning in 2016. And it was of historic proportions. There, within the city limits of Cleveland, there's only maybe 300 to 400,000 people. Surrounding Cuyahoga County maxes out like a couple million. So the people that showed up in downtown for the parade was close to 1 million something people. So that means half of the city showed up for the parade, and half of the surrounding areas, like 1 out of 2 people showed up for that thing. That's how big a deal it was. It's like literally half the area showed up for it. So it was, and it went down in history as the most celebrated, because it wasn't just celebrated here, it was celebrated nationwide because we were the symbol of the underdog team. So other cities, like Philly, got hope. It's like Cleveland if Cleveland can do it, we can do it too. And what happened 2 years ago? They win too. So
That's good.
yeah, it was a big deal. So
Congratulations.
yeah, that's my
And now
little sports
the
story.
Golden Goose is laying eggs in Los Angeles.
But yeah, but that's
Oh.
gonna be. Thank you for saying that. That's what I want. That was my original point. Is that it's gonna be interesting because now it's gonna be a Western Conference heavy division, like league. Unless something really cool happens in the East, and Boston or the 76ers get really good. It's going to be a Western heavy, and the real NBA Finals is going to be the Western Conference Finals, because when the NBA Finals rolls around, it's probably going to be like the Warrior situation again, where, it's an obvious they're going to win in a sweep, so...
Well, somehow the Orlando Magic somehow win.
Right.
And you never know.
You never know, but it's going to be interesting because the players have switched, so... and now the Lakers are back to being of some prestige again. So now it's like a new era for the Lakers. Even though I never cared about the Lakers, and I probably still won't even if LeBron is there. It's going to be interesting having the Lakers be a force again, especially going up against the
Was this
Warriors.
1999?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Haven't cared since.
Instead of going up against the Spurs or the Pistons or whoever it was, besides the Spurs. I think it was either Spurs or
Never cared. It's in check.
someone else. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
And let me just say, fuck the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh,
Fuck the Thunder.
Oh,
As a
Daniel's shooting on the
Seattle
Thunder
boy,
for some reason.
he's shooting, bro. He's
as a
shooting.
Seattle, as they used to be the Seattle Sonics.
Oh,
Don't forget.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I understand, Dan, because the Baltimore Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns, and because they moved the team, Cleveland didn't have a football team for a couple of years. So we were like,
Yeah.
fuck the Ravens.
And immediately after they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Fuck you,
exactly.
nigga.
We were really pissed. It was
Fuck
the year,
Cleveland.
It was the year after they left. They fucking win a Super Bowl.
If they never
That's the
won,
same thing
Belichick
that
could be a
happened
Brown
with the
right now.
Thunder.
Eat shit, Cleveland.
So everything could have been very different.
Yeah, that could have been like the thing that broke the curse back then.
Mm.
Could have.
But
Yeah, there you go. There you go, blaming your inadequacies on a magical curse. I'm from Massachusetts and I don't believe that shit.
well,
Hmm.
even if you don't believe in it, the
We didn't
stigma
lose
of
for
it
80
still
something
has
years
effect.
because Babe Ruth left. We lost because we sucked.
But that's the thing. We didn't suck. A lot of the times we were getting to the finals and then losing for stupid reasons. And
Yeah,
that's
well,
why...
you sucked. You sucked at the end. The
So-
Patriots went undefeated one season and then lost the Super Bowl. We sucked until the end.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Even
That was
if you
against the
don't
Giants.
believe in the curse, other people believe in the curse, and that affects other people. So the effect of the curse, true or not, is real.
What?
Because some people believe in it, and it'll affect them. So,
Mm. I lost because of the curse.
Eddie Guerrero's
I
cursed.
lost because freaking. I lost
Because
I
it's
had them
beta
bitches
time!
Shaman slit a goat's throat and bathed in its blood.
You lost
No,
because it's
you
Vader
lost
time.
because your team is full of underdeveloped rookies and your coach is shit.
Hmm.
Hey, Eddie Guerrero is
Logic.
not bro.
Anyway,
Logic, get out.
All right.
The last
Okay,
basketball team your coach coached for was Pee Wee basketball.
Oh.
We.
All right, back to wrestling. All right.
No.
well, you guys
go ahead.
watch. Everyone watched NXT, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yes, it's happened on NXT.
So why Chris Dijak is just doing the job, huh?
Hey, he's got to pay his dues
So
somehow.
that's what
brother.
Oni Lurkin did for
Yeah.
like his first couple of months.
Some people
It's
just
a
do
lot-
this job for a couple months, then they get built up and built up and built up. It's the New Japan system, basically.
Yeah. Weird.
Kind of Dakota Kai. She's gonna lose and lose and lose and lose until
Yeah.
they just.
Well,
build her
she
up,
won
up, up,
on
up.
Wednesday.
Yeah, she actually won this week.
Because she faced Santana Garrett.
Yeah, who hadn't shown up in a year.
I'm pretty sure somebody who was blind, deaf, dumb, and in a ditch in the middle of Mexico could tell that was gonna happen.
I mean, Dakota Kai also beat Vanessa Bourne a couple weeks ago, and she's signed
And
with
Kyrie
Company.
Sands gonna do the same thing next week.
Also, Nixon Noel's new name,
Yeah,
What's
Dixon
Nixon
Buell.
Noel's new name again?
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox.
Is she related to Mike?
No, she said like
It's a Harry
the
Potter
last
reference.
name. Yeah.
I forget what she said about Tegan.
She said it's a Welsh word. Here's the name origin. She said
No.
Tegan Welsh name. Tegan Welsh name. Origin. Loved one or darling.
Mm.
And Knox. Harry Potter spell favorite books.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Simple as that.
I didn't know Nixon Noel was signed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what?
she was.
Yeah, she's been signed like a year. She just hasn't been able to wrestle because she's been injured.
Yeah, she was injured.
Yeah, but
Oh,
she's
they
been
didn't
signed.
sign. They didn't sign Io Shirai, but they'll sign.
Well, she got injured after she was signed.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got signed. Fuck, there goes my arm.
Yeah, she got injured on a road show.
Well, that's your leg.
Right.
Ah, fuck my spleen.
That's the nature of this. The nature of this business.
Yeah.
That's the
Also,
nature, boy.
Impact Wrestling looks good tonight.
Oh,
So,
Yeah, Impact Wrestling is a thing. That ring is going to die because of Congo Kong and Brian Cage.
Apparently,
oh yeah, Cage and Con today.
Hey guys, did you hear Impact Wrestling isn't doing too good?
What do you mean?
Fine.
Are they going bankrupt again?
they said that they're worried that people aren't watching Pop TV and only watching the YouTube thing. Weird, huh?
Gee, it's like
Weird.
you're on Pop TV.
It's like Pop TV doesn't have anything else.
They have Schitt's Creek and that's it.
I was
They
gonna
have
say,
Schitt's Creek in movies.
I was gonna
What
say
the
that
shocker.
there's another match tonight that looks really good. It's gonna be Killer Cross versus what's the Simmer guy's name?
Okay.
Fall by. It's
Falaba,
Killer Cross.
yeah.
Killer Cross versus Fall by.
But yeah, back to what you were saying, Michael. Gee, it's like they're on Pop TV or something.
yeah.
Oh god, people aren't watching my wrestling.
Oops.
You put it on a to pay like $30 a month for cable or something.
It's like no one wants to watch Impact or something.
Wonder who-
Wrestling show on
Shit.
G4.
It's like the Esquire network
Yeah.
now.
I can't do that.
God, Saturday Morning Slam isn't doing too well. God, because you put it on Saturday mornings on the fucking CW.
On CW, the most public access since public access.
The public access, but no one's watching because it's Saturday morning. Kids don't
Wow.
watch Saturday morning cartoons anymore.
Wait, they don't? Oh yeah.
This
They,
ain't the fuck. This ain't the
No,
fucking
they
80s.
don't. They're on YouTube.
No. They're on YouTube and they're not good anymore.
Yeah.
They're not on Saturday mornings. They're like on the afternoons or something now.
Yeah, this shit's why they put their episodes on the Global Wrestling Network for everyone to access, not just members.
what the?
I would say the cartoons on Cartoon Network aren't too bad though. Now, I mean, yeah, but or they were kind of garbage.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Teen Titans Go still exists.
And that sucks.
Okay, well, the other shows are still pretty good, like KKO, I've heard good things about. I've seen, God damn, I keep forgetting names of things. Oh, Craig and the
Happens to
Creek.
me
I've
all
seen
the
that
time.
show, and it's pretty good. Craig up the Creek.
Okay. There's a lot of wrestling shows out there,
So you got.
and I barely can keep up with WWE annual.
There's like
Yeah,
5 wrestling shows on television.
I can't keep up with Ring of Honor.
There's
Yeah.
Raw, SmackDown, Impact, and New Japan on Access TV.
It doesn't help that Ring of Honor doesn't have much of a platform besides Honor Club.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like New Japan.
If
way.
anything, their platform is fucking public access owned by Sinclair Broadcasting. Because I can watch
Also,
Ring of Honor
W-
on Saturday night at 11 o'clock on like channel 6.
Right, that's the same for me.
WWE
Yeah.
fucking over ROH by like making the
Not letting them do a Madison Square Garden show.
Where you going to Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden? Fuck you.
Oh. Okay. Yeah,
fuck Madison Square Garden.
Michael, you're recording this stream.
Yes, I am.
Ooh.
I mean, they already have the Madison Square Garden of indie shows, the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Mm.
Right.
Man, wrestling.
What's everybody's thoughts about Roman Reigns?
Okay.
Meh.
Let me
There it
say
is.
how I feel about Roman Reigns.
Okay, let me just
Right.
debunk every single.
Roman.
Let me just
No,
debunk
no.
every single
Hold on.
person who fucking complains on Roman Reigns.
No. Hold on. Roman Reigns is a great wrestler.
Yes.
The problem is the people that runs the show. They should they should give Roman Reigns like make him be you because
The thing is,
use
like, no one.
whatever
The thing
he
is,
wants
people
to.
like him, people don't. Like, it's never gonna be a perfect thing with him.
Yeah. Just let him do whatever. Yeah. The thing about Roman Reigns, I remember watching a promo of his back in NXT. It was an okay promo, and I really got interested in his character, whatever it was back at NXT. He was wearing a suit. Keep looking at his watch. That was a good character.
Yeah, Roman.
If
He
he
was
took the
like,
time to develop it.
yeah, I think he
Right
was.
now, the big dog gimmick isn't that over with the crowd, especially. Yeah, everybody.
In NXT, it was like Roman time, and he was a heel.
Yeah.
It's like you're on
Yeah.
Roman's time, and yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was a good promo, and they should let him be a heel. I
mean,
I don't dislike Roman Reigns. He's a solid wrestler. He can wrestle his ass off
oh yeah.
just as well as any of them. His promos have improved a lot in the last year or so since John Cena. His promos have improved. But you're right. It's the people writing the show are putting him in a situation where the fans just don't want. They just don't care. Like they're keep putting him in the title picture, and they want Roman to be like one.
So-
They want him to.
I used to be someone who hated him, but now I'm just like, I just don't care.
Yeah, they want
It's
him
good.
to be a heel, and they're
Okay.
refusing to let him be a heel. You know, he's kind of heelish already, but the position they're putting him in isn't one of a heel position. It's one of the noble baby face, even though things he's doing isn't necessarily noble, and the things he's saying aren't really pure face-ish. You know, they're still forcing Roman down our throats in a certain aspect. Not the fact that they're putting him in the main event and all that. They're making him be a certain type of character that he doesn't want to be, and that the audience doesn't want him to be. In my opinion, everything else about Roman is fine.
Honestly, the closest they ever got to everyone cheering for Roman Reigns after the Royal Rumble debacle was the time he feuded with Sheamus.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of the Authority. You know, that's always a plus.
Mm-hmm.
And when he won the title, everyone was starting to cheer him again.
Yeah.
Then the Royal Rumble happened again.
Then the Rumble happened again, and they just cheered for Triple H.
Put him at number 1. Put him at the title. Title on the line.
It didn't help that AJ Styles made his debut in that match.
That didn't help things at all. As great as that debut was,
Yeah.
it didn't help Roman's case.
I
I
remember
think that
being-
the fact there's so much better talent than Reigns makes people think that he's not really the one they should go after, since
It makes people
Like,
think that
there's-
that Roman's not in their league
yeah,
when he can be.
even though he could be.
But like, as I was trying to say, like, debunking everything about Reigns. Like, say Reigns, like, hypothetically, say Reigns left for New Japan right now.
Oh man.
He'd be
people-
perfect.
Yeah. People would love him.
His wrestling is good. Well, maybe not, maybe 5-star Okada level as far as we know.
We don't
but
know
Solid
that. We don't
4-star
know that,
matches.
though. He hasn't
He
had
could
that
put on-
opportunity
he could
to
put on
pull
a
a
passable
5-star
good
Okada.
match.
Yeah, because keep in mind, WWE tones down the wrestling.
Right, I could totally see
Except in
Roman
NXT.
Reigns doing a 5-6-star Okada style match like in New Japan. But they haven't given him the opportunity to do so. The closest he got to something like that was his feud with Bray Wyatt. That was
Mhm.
amazing.
I'd say this is feud with AJ.
Yeah, it's few. They should
Yeah.
put on like fucking 4
Was
star
another
matches.
example of what he could do.
Yeah, I was yes in terms of wrestling and potential. AJ.
But the real issue with Roman surrounds 2 things: the scripted nature of WWE compared to literally everything else, like main roster at least, and how they keep positioning him as basically everything ever.
Oh well. Hopefully, whenever Vince retires, things will get better.
Hopefully in 2020, when Vince takes the XFL and it succeeds, please let it succeed. We need more football. We need more football, damn it. You know what's ironic? Vince McMahon, who has a monopoly on wrestling, is trying to stop a monopoly on football.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's always, when you're on top, you preserve being on top, and when you're on the bottom, you try to get on top. So.
But here's the thing: the wrestling industry itself is changing, so the WWE has to change. They can't keep themselves. If they don't change their formula, they're gonna get scrambled in the shuffle.
I think they're starting to move in that direction. I think they're moving in that direction a lot faster than I thought.
Oh yeah.
Faster than I thought thought they would.
Dude, the event in Saudi Arabia, the events the event in the UK.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They've been but that everyone hates it.
The women's tournament, the fact that they're bringing back Ellsworth to do an intergender angle with Asuka, like
I don't think that's
opening.
Yeah, I don't.
Angle, that's not a plus.
Nah, to be honest.
I feel like
hold on.
Them-
Let me finish. It opens up the door to further intergender stuff, so we could get a potential, like, Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble, like in that real Royal Rumble kind of moment, or something like that, where like.
Why would you do that if the women have their own Rumble?
Okay, I'm just saying. Like,
Are you ready?
like,
You can
it
still have
opens the
surprises.
door, right? It opens the door to new things and going to where the indies are. Like, the indies are freaking exciting. One of the most exciting matches and feuds or the most exciting times was when Tessa was going on that tear and being like freaking double champion in the indies. People were freaking out. She was fighting Brian Cage. She was fighting everybody. But
at the same time, they built both of those people as being on equal, not
exactly.
Ellsworth, scrawny, stupid
WWE,
beta male man that couldn't even beat my post office worker.
You got to start somewhere with.
Yeah, that's his rule.
I mean,
you got to start somewhere though. That eventually they can move their way up, and they can put it on like you said, pushing them as equals, and not this weird, socially awkward beta male storyline they have going with Ellsworth right now.
Like literally Andy Kaufman, if not Andy Kaufman.
Right, but the fact that they are even doing this thing with Ellsworth opens the door for them to do that equal footing kind of thing.
I don't think so.
But they have to condition the audience first and they have to condition their stockholders, which is the main thing.
Like warning, these programs are not going to be Super Bowl.
Right.
That's probably what's going to be stopping them, because the sponsors say, well, we don't want men beating up the women.
Right.
Which is
which
is not good PR.
They have to do it right. So they have to ease into it with Ellsworth and Asuka, and then get people used to these types of matches, and then they slowly turn up the notch.
I mean, they already started with, let's see here, Ronda Rousey beating up Triple H.
Right.
Yes.
It's been going on before then. It's been going on before then. Like in NXT for a long time, Nia Jax and Asuka would attack, and Nikki Cross too would attack men who were adjacent at ringside or whatever. Men would never reciprocate or anything like that, but it opened the door for WWE for women to hit a dude, and then it progressed from there, and then but it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I was there when Charlotte hit the spear on the Miz.
Right.
Dude, everybody just mocked out. It was.
And look who they've hired. Candice LeRae, Ruby Riott. They had Kimberly before they let her go. Sarah Del Rey. Ember Moon, I'm pretty sure, had a couple of intergender matches on the indies. The people they have hired have experience, and not just have experience, were making a name for themselves specifically for intergender. Ruby Riot, especially, I just blanked, but there is a lot of people that they have their Candice LeRae is the other the name I blanked on, especially her, for making a name for themselves as intergender wrestling, and they can't just ignore that because the audience.
I mean, they can.
They can,
Well.
but the NXT audience was already saying, "Let her fight Ciampa, let her fight Ciampa," so they're aware, and so they can, you know, they have room to wiggle, especially at NXT, where they can experiment.
Man, the thing is, you're right, right. The thing is, the NXT crowd. I'm sorry, the NXT universe is way different than the WWE universe.
Right. Exactly. Well, yes. But they can, you know, that's where they experiment with it first. That's where they open the door. That's where they get people used to it. That's, you know, they're still releasing those clips on YouTube, so the audience is still seeing NXT stuff. You know, so it's still conditioning. It's all about long-term strategy of getting people used to it and then turning it up. So.
I think they can, like, they want to they want to start a new era of intergender match. They should start with Asuka and who put her against who? Not against James Ellsworth, no, against Red, like Styles. Put her against Styles. Put her against Seth Rollins. Like, you don't know how they're moving.
Yeah, that's the ideal for sure. That's the ideal. That's the goal to get to. But
heck, put her against Chavo Guerrero.
But we got to get people get used to it.
That's another.
Yeah.
We just gotta ease into it. Baby steps. Like the Mixed Max Challenge, we completely forgot about that. They had a whole bunch of it sprinkled in with the Mixed Max Challenge. So they're easing us into the notion of intergender wrestling.
I honestly don't think so. Because the way I see it, two types of intergender. One where it's the woman going up against the giant monster man, and he's about ready to fucking murder her until someone comes to her rescue. Or what we have now with the joke of a man going up against
Oscar.
Have you watched a lot of Chikara?
We're not talking about Chikara, we're talking about WWE.
Okay, but there's a model there that they can mimic, and they can, you know, replicate that atmosphere that Chikara has, where the women are seen as equals. So they can.
Yeah, they can, but they won't.
Odds are they won't. But history in the past doesn't look good. But patterns of behavior recently give me a little hope that they're moving in that direction, because they've done a lot. Like, they've done a lot, and a lot of little signals that have, like, who thought they would do a mixed match challenge? Seriously, like, so there's little baby steps.
I mean, they do mixed tag team matches, but at the same time, it's like
very, very rarely now, though.
Yeah, they made a point to make a whole event out of the idea of a mixed match challenge, and then in that mixed match challenge that they put so much fanfare in it, they let the women have little moments with the dudes to where it, you know, they could attack and stuff like that. So they were, you know, it's
such a
for a reason. It's
like, yeah, they were testing out Facebook Live as a platform.
Yeah, but
at the same time as they're testing out the idea of getting their audience used to intergender.
So
I don't think they're doing that.
Yeah,
Sasha and Finn Balor faced Alexa Bliss and Braun
Strowman.
Right.
Yeah. Was there any moments between Braun and
Sasha?
Bliss?
Yeah,
Oh, Braun Sasha.
I would have
yeah,
to.
bronze.
Tope might
I
have
don't know.
happened at some point, where he caught her. Maybe I don't know. I can't remember.
Mm.
I would have to go back, but I know Nia Jax
Hmm.
did, obviously. Uh,
Oh yeah.
and it was like every match. It was pretty consistent. The women would get fed up and just like either slap somebody or do a spear or something, or Hurricane Rana. Uh, it was pretty consistent, but the
Yes.
dudes would never retaliate.
That would be.
And on Glow, there's a bit of a weird. Um,
Yeah, I've seen that
yeah,
one.
the season
Seen
two of
that scene.
Glow came out, and they had
Yep, I've seen it.
a slight
I
I.
storyline,
Uh-huh.
where with intergender, and the line was made, "Hey, let's only do wrestling moves. We don't want to strike. We don't want them to think we're hitting ladies." So
Mm.
that could be a way they could do it, where they just do straight up wrestling
You know what?
Mm.
Hitting the woman's fine, but I can pile drive the fuck out of her.
moves.
I'm gonna go to the top rope and pile drive that bitch.
Not in
No, 'cause
New
that makes
Orleans.
sense.
But not close fists.
Not New
No
Orleans.
close fists, no lariats, no neck breaker.
Right. So
Context.
it's the atmosphere is around for intergender to take place, especially with the indies, the way the situation it is with the indies right now, where like Mia Yim is making her name for herself, going around beating up
Mhm.
dudes. Like
Another W person that would be perfect for like intergender would probably be Nikki Cross.
yeah, she's already doing it. Like
An
she was one of
Oscar,
the
dude.
people doing like
An Oscar,
hurricane
of course.
ranas and cannonballs at people
Yeah.
during matches. Yeah, like
Personally, the only
they've
people
got a
that
roster there who's used to it. Nikki Cross, Candice LeRae, Ruby Riot, Nia Jax, Asuka,
all the,
freaking
all the Japanese talent, all the Japanese talent, because most of the Japanese
yeah, Kairi Sane.
they faced. Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
they
So
faced a lot. And,
so they've got the
Asuka faced
talent.
Suzuki. For
Yeah,
God's sake.
uh,
they've got the talent there who's used to it, so it wouldn't be hard for them to
mm.
flip the switch once
It wouldn't
they're
be hard
ready.
at all. They got the
Right.
the question
ammunition.
is, yeah, the question is all when and how.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
won't be for another
It's the
year or
only thing
two.
you have to
I
worry
bet
about.
you. There's, if it ever
Happen at all.
happens, it would be on the network during the rumored TV 14 show that they have going on. It's
Yeah,
it's
we
like
will
a
have.
rumored role.
Wait,
That
wait,
and all
wait,
the
wait, wait, wait,
watch
wait, 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 wait. They
fucking
got a
time.
TV 14 show like planned?
Rumored that there's
Yeah, it was part. It was
Ooh.
part of that. Part of that fucking fabled.
yeah, the survey.
The
They asked,
survey, which has not come to fruition. No
No.
indie
Time
shows.
to take a
None of that
selfie.
shit. Nothing.
Stuff like that, especially with a survey, JJ, corporate time frame for something like that is like 2 3 years, and that was
Dude,
only like last year. So
if they want to find somebody to sponsor,
yeah, they
yeah,
there's
they might as well let Huda.
there's a beta website floating around there that people have been testing, and there's that has extra features on it that replicate what was seen in the survey. So the beta website, they're already testing it. So no, they're working on it. We just won't see it for a good year and a half, 2 years, when they're ready
Maybe.
to launch. Because their new website is rumored to be more of a social network, like a Facebook, where you can watch, like they said in the survey, you could watch your shows with your friends. You could chat. It's gonna be like a Twitch kind of style thing where
Ooh,
it's Twitch slash Facebook slash dating site, where was the rumored, where
okay.
the example they gave in a press conference was this viewer, and it's an actual that model that shows up at all the WWE shows and dresses up like Nikki Bella and all the time. And it's just some
Uh-huh.
Instagram star. Okay, well, there's some
Right.
Instagram star that that I follow on Instagram.
Oh,
That
oh,
does,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So they modeled her in this press conference thing where she where they go over her network habits and they make it sound like a dating site. Whereas this is a 22-year-old 28 or 24-year-old female who loves the WrestleManias and pay-per-views, and she'll watch pay-per-views multiple times and string them back to back. And she on social media she likes this and likes that, and so it the way they were setting it up was like you would be matched with people of similar interests, and you could
This person likes WCW. and,
yeah, exactly. So if you're watching WCW, you go in the chat room with other people who like WCW and watch some stuff with WCW. Um, so it's in the works. Like I've been waiting to see when they're gonna start letting people into the beta website because it's a closed beta already. So
All right.
yeah,
So what is website like sites
It
goal?
does sound very interesting.
yeah, like you can watch, like it's gonna be like Rabid or it crossed with Twitch, where you can
Oh,
choose what
Interact.
where you can choose what you're watching with other people.
Like, okay.
And there's some other interaction they mentioned other than chat. I can't. They didn't really get into it, but it might be like a polling system or something like that. And they mentioned a mobile aspect to it, where you would get notifications when someone is like Rabbit, when someone is watching WrestleMania. It's like, hey, Billy's watching WrestleMania. Do you want to watch it with him?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Or
Will
sounds-
Chuck be there?
sounds really
He was watching Wrestle Challenge. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Will Chuck be there though? Billy was watching.
There should be. If there's gonna be like a thing there should be like a chat to interact with.
Yes.
What was the theme song of for Billy and Chuck?
Oh, you said Chuck, not
You
Chat.
look so
No, Chuck.
Billy and
me.
chat.
Billy and chat. Yeah.
Billy on
Billy and the chat box.
man, wrestling is. Already said
so
that.
it's
Man, I'm waiting. Okay,
it's gonna be a while.
Uh, yeah. Dude, when I grow up and I have enough money, I want to open a wrestling promotion back.
He will actually do a Dragon Dojo.
Oh yeah.
What's going on?
I do too in some capacity. I'm
Yeah.
contemplating like getting a job with WWE.
Cool.
In some capacity, because
Let me.
I love this stuff.
Oh yeah, I love it too.
Congratulations, Mr. Maggle. You got the job. You get to carry Roman Reigns' bags.
I wouldn't mind
Oh.
carrying Roman's bags. Are you kidding me? You get to talk
You
to
see-
Roman about wrestling?
I can't wait for like
That means
a
I'm
news
traveling
thing
with
to say
Roman
that.
Reigns. That means I'm
As long as you,
traveling.
as long as you don't have to do the job of Seth Rollins' bags, God forbid you fucking lose them.
Oh god. Just don't eat chicken
No one
wings.
does say no.
That was Chris Benoit, and I don't think you have to worry about that.
Here, you have to run Braun Strowman's places I've pooped at.
Oh,
How do I work this damn thing?
also, I don't think you asked me when did I.
When do you start
wrestling?
leaving kayfabe?
Yeah.
When did I start wrestling? Well, I started.
When did you
I started wrestling when I got in.
When did you start?
I
Okay.
started
when did you
wrestling
get
when I
into
bought this
wrestling?
game called WWE 2K7. Or was it
2K7?
18? I don't remember what year it is.
Yeah. What's your first memory around wrestling, Izzy?
But to be honest, around 2000, 2001, I was like 4 years old, so I just began to recognize everything around me. And I remember a game that I played with my cousins. It was SmackDown 1.
All SmackDown 1.
Yeah, SmackDown 1. So the thing is, we're kids. we try to imitate what we see on video games or TV. So whenever you put me in a stunner or a power driver, one of the older cousins comes in and tells us, "Hey, don't do that. These people are trained. These people, in a way, they're actors. If slash actors, wrestlers, sports. So ever since I knew about wrestling, it was scripted. I prefer the word scripted than fake.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fake's a dirty word.
What do you mean by fake?
Right.
It's scripted, not fake.
Man.
In what way? You want people to really,
Yeah,
you really
'cause
want to take a bad driver? Come on.
it's not
Don't-
because fake isn't entirely accurate. Because
Yeah,
some of the
it's
moves
not.
are real.
It's not.
The danger is real. Like
Oh, yeah,
the
the danger
is
freaking
real.
promo scene says,
This is-
the danger is real. Do not try
And
this at home. Like
I remember my dad buying me and my brother Stone Cold and Undertaker T-shirts. I remember that the most interaction that I had with wrestling was SmackDown 1, SmackDown 2. Heck, even though WWE was more popular in the middle than WCW, played the WCW game. I don't remember which one was it. And I only knew a person there, which was Sting. And I actually compared him to Goldust. I don't know why.
Because of face paint, probably.
Because the only reason we
and
recognize
how
Sting,
old were you at the time? Like, geez, you 5? So
I was 5, 6.
cut yourself
was-
a break.
I remember. Yeah. Okay,
I was 18. Yeah,
I was 9, 10 when I played Here Comes the Pain.
Oh, okay.
And it was awkward because there was a cutscene where I think it was Tori Wilson.
Oh.
No, that's a
And
SPR.
that's
Yeah,
totally,
yeah.
No,
I don't know
that's
which
awesome.
one.
and that's another time.
Which one? Yeah. Which one was when you get into
That's
Into
VR.
SVR? How do you know that, Daniel?
Because I played it.
It was my dream.
What? Oh, okay. So, but the time when I
What was the
really
one that
got
you
into
get into
wrestling,
what?
the one that really got me into wrestling was okay. There was a hiatus of me playing wrestling games between 2006 and 2011. Like 2011, I picked it up because at that moment I kind of liked the idea of creating a character in a video game. So I was like, wrestling games give you that ability to create your own character. So I did. I gave the World Championship and WWE Championship to CAW. Just like that. I don't know why.
Because
And
you're a kid. And
yeah, I was like, hey, I want to be the undisputed title.
Exactly.
I want to be the undisputed. Who doesn't want to be?
Exactly.
I was, but the thing that really intrigued me is it was like, okay, Stone Cold and The Rock, they're not there anymore. But there are new guys like, oh, there's this guy called Zack Ryder. Oh, there's Cody Rhodes. There's Yassi Jr. There's John Cena. There's Randy Orton. And I've heard those names before, but I wasn't really, interested in them.
There's so many of these new names like Ezekiel Jackson,
Yeah, Ezekiel Jackson.
Trent
Yeah.
Beretta.
So I was like, you know what?
Vance Archer.
Let me watch
Jason
some.
Ryan.
Let me watch some wrestling online. Keep in mind, in Saudi, it's not illegal. Anyway, the first thing that I watched was an episode of SmackDown. The World Heavyweight Champion was Edge. With
As it was back then.
Yeah, it was a SmackDown like 2 weeks before. So it was a great time. Well, for me, it was a great time, a great entry to the WWE or wrestling. So what happened is that I got hooked little by little. I got hooked in. What hooked me in is the return of The Rock as the host of WrestleMania 27.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
And
I
then
was
Edge
like-
retired.
Yeah, that's the bad part. It was like, oh my god, Edge wrestler. Oh my god, Edge has retired. Man.
Man,
Thanks a lot, Yazid.
So it was great.
curse.
It's your fault.
WrestleMania 27 was basically the first WrestleMania I watched. I really
Oh.
yeah. I really liked the match between Triple H and Undertaker.
Oh, that
It
was a
was
pretty good
the
match.
only yeah, it was the only. It was the only match that I got hooked. Like, oh my god, how many false finishes I put in this match?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then he discovered New Japan, and his heart melted with all the
Fun
flashbacks.
fact. Fun fact. First thing first, I did not know anything about kayfabe. Oh, that oh that guy's face. I did not know anything.
Oh my God, Paul Bearer's dead again.
Again,
The only reason I knew about these stuff is because of YouTube.
YouTube.
Uh,
Ah.
New Legacy Inc.
Oh.
Oh.
I
Oh.
didn't realize it was fake until NL gave it to me.
Well, I knew it was not real, but until my horizon about wrestling broadened, New Legacy Inc. Because the first video that I clicked about them was the Royal Rumble Marathon.
Oh, the
So
first
one?
it was
marathon or 2013?
2013. I was like, man, these guys are even goddamn, they're funny. And I kept watching them and watching them. They keep about people that I don't know. Who the heck is this Jerry Lynn? Who's Chris? Who's Cole Cabana?
Who's this player Uno fuck?
Yeah,
So
who's
I-
playing?
So
So
NL brought you into the indies.
Who the
Yeah.
fuck is Vince Russo?
yeah, who's Vince Russo? Really, I did not know. The hell's like, oh,
Some dipshit.
this guy actually booked Monday Night Raws. Then I met you guys. That's after I met you guys. I got into New Japan.
Yeah. And then you called WWE a cancer in time.
Okay, I admit that was. I shouldn't do that because.
That was very
I should-
spur of the moment, I guess.
Yeah, it was, and I should be grateful because WWE was the reason I got into. So I should be grateful. Yeah.
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 That's a good
All
time.
right.
Yeah, this is something we should talk about next time, Yazid.
Yeah. Next time.
How
uh,
what was it like growing up in a rather conservative culture watching wrestling? You know, that's fascinating to me. It's like what maybe it wasn't.
I can
Yeah.
I can sum it up right now.
Yeah. Well, no, let's save it for next time.
Okay.
Didn't you say wrestling was banned for like 20-something years?
Was it?
You're the
Well,
one that said it, you see,
We'll
not me.
never know. We'll find out next time on the next recording whenever we do one. So, I
Yeah.
guess
Alright.
this was a good first test. We had a good conversation. I thank you guys for
Mhm.
trying it out with us.
Mhm.
And this was like a podcast sort of thing.
So,
Yep.
thanks
Good stuff.
everybody.
No. Rosemary, get